Hey, true believers, Chris Mack coming at you with an action figure that I've been chomping at the bit to review. This is the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Collector's Edition Action Comics #1 Superman. And I love that they put the 85 years here in the corner. That looks great. The card looks amazing. The figure looks awesome. Nothing really on the top. On the side, I love that they give you that silver varnish there. Come around, very great reprint of Action Comics #1 from back in the day. And then what's different here is you can see they actually give you the silver text there. Looks great. Action Comics #1 Superman, and then #1 in nice dark silver there. Looks great. Nothing on the bottom. So with that said, is this man is still an excellent action figure or not? Let's get him out and get a closer look at him. This figure is absolutely amazing. Posing him around just screams the golden age of DC Comics as well. For those of you that remember the Max Fleischer Superman shorts, that was amazing. And this figure just captures that era of the superhero comic books. Now, for those collectors that are a little worried about why his feet are blue, we're going to dive into that right now. Let's get the Man of Steel down and get a closer look at this golden age Superman. With this figure, we're going to do a semi-deep dive into Superman's history. I want to give a shout out to our fellow community member Supertron for helping me come up with this really good information for you all. So Action Comics #1, the cover date's June 1938, but it was published on April 18th, 1938. It was released by National Allied Publications. This was the original name of DC before they rebranded themselves as Superman DC in the early 40s. Then known just as DC Comics for years before they officially adopted the brand name DC Comics in 1977. It's the first issue of the original run of the comic and features the first appearance of Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster's creation, as we see here, Superman. Now, his power set was limited when he was first introduced. He could hurl skyscrapers, leap an eighth of a mile, raise tremendous weights, outrun an express train, and nothing less than a bursting shell could penetrate his skin. Now, his ability to fly kind of came by accident with the introduction of the Max Fleischer Superman cartoon. He was flying in that issue, and so from what I understand, with the launch of the radio show, it kind of showed that he could fly, and the radio shows I just mentioned spurred the first superhero action figure, which was a wooden, kind of cheaply made version of Superman. Now, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster were only paid $5 per page for their creation. And in 1975, when the first Superman movie was announced, Siegel asked for the help of Neil Adams, who was at the time on strike from DC and Marvel over work made for hire contracts. And he was asking if he could help them fight Warner Brothers over the rights of Superman. Now, Adams, he'd been fighting against DC to give creators better rights and more money, agreed to help. And due to the negative publicity Warner Brothers received, they ultimately agreed to acknowledge Siegel and Shuster as the creators, giving them the byline and giving them an annual stipend of $20,000 as well as health benefits. Action Comics #1 is widely considered to be the beginning of the superhero genre and the most valuable comic in the world. And even though the cover showed Superman with red boots, wow. The interior art depicts him with blue footies or boots, and you're kind of wondering why. Well, initially, when this was just a newspaper comic strip short, Shuster and Siegel had him as more of a Spartan-looking figure with the laced-up kind of like Spartan boots. And so when it came to DC, and they colored it for the comics, they covered over the laced shoes and just made it look like blue boots in the comics. So eventually that changed into the red boots that we all know today. So there's a quick dive into Superman's early history, and of course the S changed a lot too, but this is still that iconic golden age look that I love here. Now, before we get into the figure, the accessories that he comes with just kind of screams the golden age. He comes with this really cool chain that he's supposed to kind of break out of. And I wish that it was bendable so that you could do more things with it, but it's just this. So it just fits around them like so, and that's it. I mean, it's a welcome prop, but it'd just been kind of neat if they would have made it more bendy so you could show them and bending it in different angles and whatnot. So you're not going to get a whole lot of range, but it still looks neat. And any accessory that we get is a welcome addition. What's cool is the foot stand that he comes with has the silver collector's edition DC logo there. I like that. So I'm glad they got that. And then I do wish that every flight character came with a flight stand, not just sporadic. So this one has a more prominent black DC logo. And of course a foot stand, so you can make this just a peg by itself. And as we've all seen over the years, you pop in the flight stand like so, and you're good to go. And it was kind of neat, is so kind of like the gold edition King Shark that we went over. It comes with a card stand, and the card is absolutely beautiful. Great reprint of Action Comics #1 there. Love that it has the McFarlane Collector's Edition on the side there. Just looks more like a trading card instead of just something cheap that you're going to get. There's a read up on the back, so I'll get a, if you guys want to, you could pause this, check it out at your convenience. And I love how it has that silver sheen to it. Great stuff there. And then with the stand, looks cool. And if you're ever so careful, just slide it in like so, and you're good to go. I do wish that he came with some other hands or another head. That would have been welcome, but as I say, you can take what you can get. But I'm pretty sure the other Supermans that we've gone over that are McFarlane based, I'm sure you can swap out the hands there, so it's not like you're not left without nothing. Now for the head sculpt, I really enjoy this one. It just kind of has that golden age comic look about it. And it has a nice change between serious and like a more stoic face. Just looks great. The eyes look good. Of course, his black hair. Cape looks epic. Love the way it flows. Though I wish we could get away from this. It's one thing about these figures with these plastic capes is they're so damn heavy. So if you don't have them set right, they're going to plop. I wish, kind of like with some of these more exclusives that he's been doing, go like Mafex and give us some damn bendy wire or at least cloth. Let's get away from these plastic capes that have been bugging us for our entire generations. It's frustrating. Now, just to kind of differentiate him from the other Supermans we've done over the years, I'm glad that it's a light blue. And I kind of wish that they would have given the feet more of that Spartan look that was painted over, just as an homage to Siegel and Schuster. But of course, I'm sure for budgetary reasons, but they just had to go with a Superman, what do you call it? A Superman model that they already had. So whatever. Trunks look good. His iconic yellow belt looks good. The musculature, epic. And I'm just glad that they made sure to keep that old school original S. Because this is the dude that started most of the superheroes and inspired the Justice League and eventually made him the leader of the Justice League. So great stuff on the paint apps. Articulation wise, head go down, head goes up, side, and get a little bit of play there. Arms 360, this way, that way, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, hand goes up and down, hand spins round and round, ab crunch, spins there and at the waist, so you get 2 points of articulation on the waist, legs out, has a little bit of an upper thigh joint, not a whole lot, kicks out. And I remember to warm him up, this kind of stops. I mean, it's still cloth, so you don't have to worry about that hard butt flap, but that's as much clearance you get there on the leg going there. Double jointed knees. I wish there was a boot swivel, but there's not. Does it the foot, goes up, goes down, toe pivot, and of course the rocker. So for a big beefy character, I'm okay with the range of motion that we're given. I wish we would have got some extra hands or an extra head, but nonetheless, just to have this original style of Superman, I'm content, and I would love it if they actually did a original Detective Comics Batman. That would be epic with the purple gloves. Hell yeah. So I'm definitely happy to have this one in my collection. It's funny, once I put all of these characters together, I have not realized how many Superman figures I've gone over throughout the years, and I'm just kind of like, wow. But yet, looking at all of them lined up like this, I love every single one of them. This is the Superman Infected one that we went over a while back. This is the Action Comics 1000. That's the Dark Knight's Death Metal one. All those are from McFarlane. This was the GameStop exclusive cel-shaded Jim Lee New 52 Superman. And even though the cel shading on it's a little obnoxious, still love it because it captures that mid-2000 era when they decided to reboot the DC continuity. But this one, I love that they kind of took the bulky body mold of this one, because I love this one. This one I really, really enjoy. But I just love when we get a more bulkier, kind of the John Byrne, Dan Jurgens era Superman. Kind of like with this one where we got that badass Death Metal one where he's part Superman, part Dark Side Apocalypse? Yeah, I had to think about that for a minute. But if you guys are a Superman fan like me, then definitely the Action Comics #1 homage you want in your collection. Out of all the Supermans that have been coming out since the 30s, which one is your favorite? We'd love to see photos of it over on our social media pages, as well as what you guys are going to do with these figures, whether you're going to pose them on a shelf or action figure photography. I was reluctant at first when this figure came out. The promos just did not do this figure justice. Once I got it in hand, I fell in love with it. It encompasses everything that Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster set out to do back in the late 30s, and it's all on display here. Yes, I would have loved some more accessories, but overall, I told myself I'm not going to get another Superman, but we had to get ourselves this version that just shows why the Man of Steel paved the way for all the superheroes that we love today and why he is the leader of the Justice League. So if you guys have enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is you like to get your comics and action figures and grab this piece. If you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you won't mind hitting that fancy little golden age bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. And once again, I want to give a shout out to my homie Supertron for helping me get all this backstory that we were able to share with y'all today to just enrich this character. And with all that said, I hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading. Photo slideshow coming up next, and happy hunting, true believers.